Welcome everybody, it's Sylvie McCracken from sylviemccracken.com, and today I have one of my incredible clients, Christine Preira, who is a nurse practitioner. I'm going to put her website right below this video. Thank you so much, Christine, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about it.
And the title of your book, tell everyone what the title of your book is.
My title is Second Chance at Health, Learn to Love Active Living and Clean Eating.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So Christine is one of our incredible clients in our 8-week program, in our ebook engines program. And we had to wrangle her in to come and share her experience with you guys. But I really wanted to share, especially Christine, just because, you know, you came into the program. Well, first of all, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about why you decided to, you know, kind of expand beyond your one-on-one and really say, okay, let me go online, let me share my expertise in a much bigger way, and let me package this into a book and really help thousands of people. What inspired you to do that?
Well, I actually work in a refinery. And so most of my clients are middle-aged men. And I also worked in the weight loss industry. And what I found is that I'm actually the only one that they would ever come and see for health advice. And gosh, middle-aged people, they were just, I mean, they just have the great American triad, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, and then the high cholesterol. Yeah. And I was repeatedly saying, well, what do you like to do? I mean, what kind of diet worked for you in the past? Or how did you maintain it when you were in your 20s and 30s? And what was fun? And so that was every day when I had patients, like 5 or 6 patients a day. And they started coming to see me outside of my visits with them. And I would be going over the same thing, helping them devise a plan. So I actually was like, well, so I started writing it down just at work. Yeah. And then lo and behold, on Facebook, I buy everything. I have bought ebooks, so many ebooks. Yeah. And so when I got your advertisement, I listened to it. I'm sitting, I have a swing inside my house and I'm listening to it while I'm swinging. My husband's like, what are you doing? And I said, you've just got to listen to what I just listened to. Yeah. That I think that I can put this into a book and I can help so many more people.
Yeah. So you were finding yourself repeating yourself over and over again, saying the same thing 80% of the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's crazy to me how often we hear that same thing just because, you know, that's the classic, there's gotta be a better way. Luckily there is. So, you know, as you came into this program, you know, did you have any sort of background in internet marketing or in writing or any sort of expertise that you brought into it?
Oh goodness, no. My writing was in grad school. I'd always had in the back of my mind, I've started multiple books. I started a bio, I started another book, but it just got stuck. I mean, I didn't know how to do it. I had it in my head. And so that's one of the things that I noticed that you guys definitely helped me with was, I think it was Millie. Mm-hmm. Goodness, back and forth with Millie on my mind mapping. That was just an incredible eye-opening experience. How to get what's in my head out onto paper and to process it through there. And that was really the game changer, because I really thought it was an 8-week program, and I thought I had to write the book in 8 weeks.
Right. So
I did. And then I'm figuring out at the end that it didn't have to be done, and I'm like,
oh, we're definitely gonna tell everyone that from now.
Done.
Let's see if we can get everyone to finish it. The craziest thing I've heard so far is someone that wrote it in 2 weeks. Definitely not typical. Definitely takes a little bit of insanity and a lot of coffee. But you know, that's incredible. I didn't even know you had written it in 8 weeks, but I love it. I'm so glad we tricked you.
Yeah, exactly. I just assumed, well, it's an 8-week program. They're going to expect me to be done, you know, because you had the milestones set out and you had the videos set out. And I'd be sitting on my back porch just listening to them, and you had it all set out. So this is what I did, and this is what I did, and it was just so easy to follow.
Yeah, I love that. So really, you know, it's interesting because, of course, you know, we only work with people that have incredible expertise and that have something that really can help others, which of course you brought that to the table. And then what we like to do is really just make it easy for you to really package that in a way that's really easy to consume and easy to sell as well. So what would you say is what was the thing that sort of you found the easiest about writing your book and about this whole process? And what would you say was sort of the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome?
The easiest was writing for me, because I really enjoyed putting it down. The way you guys told us to do it, you don't have a blank page. You document chapter by chapter, or by what you've divided up on the mind map, and then the outline. And that made it so easy, because I already knew. I have those conversations every day. So I just had to basically populate that. So the hardest thing was IT.
The tech. Oh yes, I remember.
Oh my gosh, I would literally just be crying, and I ended up making a website, and I would call GoDaddy, and they were just so sweet, because I just said, listen, I don't know how to do this. I have a lot of acronyms too in my field, and you have all these things, and it's very clear to you what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not. And I would literally be crying, and they would be, it was just, that was the hardest thing. And sometimes though, I'd be out for a run, because that's what I do. I go for a run, and I come back like, oh my gosh, I know how to do this. And then it was right. But that was the hardest, was the IT. Stepping
away from it, it's amazing how much, things can get into perspective at that point.
Absolutely.
So obviously, even with all those tech challenges and whatever else, somehow we finagled you into this guinea pig group of something that we did called pre-sales before it was an official thing, which now it's an official thing in our program, but you were pre all of that. And so somehow we wrangled you into that. So tell everybody a little bit about what you did with pre-sales before your book was ready to go.
Well, I had put my book out to a designer, and it was supposed to be ready August 1st. And so I think all of that stuff kind of was coming up in mid-July. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have an email list. I'm an introvert. And
no email list, no audience.
No email list. I have 200 people that I barely talk to on my Facebook page, and I don't have who would I send it to?
Right.
And then when I saw the number 1, number 2, and number 3 email, I thought, well,
let's see what happens.
I'm just going to do it. So and somebody told me Walmart and Nike still advertise. I'm like, well, I just have to do it then. And if I send somebody, then,
I love it. So with a tiny audience. So you managed to do the pre-sales. What was your experience with that? I don't remember what the final number was.
I just emailed literally people from my contact list, which were my professional and personal. And I ended up with like 10 sales.
That's amazing. So that was, with the list size of 0. Yeah. So I love that, because that gave you the fire under the booty to really get it done. That's amazing. So I love that. I love launching from scratch, because it's one of those things where every single person starts with a list size of 0 or 1. And same with, 1 sale. And oftentimes it's somebody's mom. So that is fantastic. So, in this process, obviously we went through a lot of strategy. We went through a lot of tech, we went through a lot of copywriting, went through a lot of marketing, and all these different things that we kind of bombard you with. And, obviously you've had kind of a big business transformation in terms of what's possible and your vision and everything that you're working towards. But oftentimes that leads to either a personal transformation as well, or sometimes the personal transformation is sort of the requirement throughout that process in order to gain that business transformation. So did you have any sort of mindset breakthroughs that were more in the personal realm of things during our program, or soon after as well?
Well, absolutely. I mean, especially with Lottie. I mean, I never had a problem sitting down and writing. But I had the voice in my head saying, why do they need to hear from you? It's not going to be good enough. And there's a million people out there already saying it. And so what was that book that you had recommended to us?
Oh, The Big Leap was,
Oh Lord, I tell you what, that changed my life, because I realized that I was in my own way. And it was so funny when Chad talked to me, and then you talked, or your team talked to me, they're like, no, we wouldn't have chosen you. We wouldn't have allowed you in the program had we not believed something that you had to offer was okay. And that was huge. I'm like, well, these people don't even know me, and they think I can add value even in this market. And that was and I listened to that book probably about 4 or 5 times. I have it on my audiobook. And it really, really helped. Even in my personal life, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting the limit and I've just sabotaged myself and I can get hold of this. And that literally changed this whole process changed my world, because I am an introvert, but I have something to say and I want to help people, and I can.
That's amazing.
So
I love hearing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm going to pass this along to Lottie as well, because I know she's going to be super stoked to see that transformation of you really owning that and really, you know, knowing your value and really being able to share that with the world. So can you give us a couple of examples of where this might have popped up in your personal life or, you know, in your day-to-day outside of business?
What the mindset?
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly with my marriage. I mean, I've been married almost 30 years, and we would have a fantastic day coming home from a beautiful dinner, and you're like, something just irritates you to no end. And that's the limit. They're like, why can't you just keep the good day going? And that was what it was. And I'm telling you, it changed even this whole process has changed my interactions with my husband. I mean, we don't have any kids at home. So it's just us staring at each other, right? And this has so helped him, because it's been a creative outlet for me, and it's been a personal growth outlet for me. And man, he is excited about the financial growth. And that's a lot more scary for me. But he's like, Chris, it's been out there for 6 weeks. Give it some time.
Yeah, totally and completely. And I love every piece of that. I love, you know, the ripple effect, because obviously, you know, I love, you know, you guys in terms of going online and starting what is essentially a brand new business and really getting your work out there in a big way. But those foundational things that are happening just in changing how you operate and how you think about yourself and how you operate with other people is really like the potential for growth there, and how that kind of ripples into other areas is really unlimited. So that is fantastic. I'm so glad you shared that with us.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So what would you say, is there anything else you'd want to say to anyone listening that maybe is in your same shoes of really that, I guess, to for lack of a better term, self-doubt of, do I even have anything new to share? Aren't there 100 other nurse practitioners that have already said this, or another 100 physical therapists or whatever their profession is that have already said this? It's been done. What could I possibly add to this? You know, what would you say to them that would help them, you know, kind of overcome things like you have?
Well, the biggest thing for me was just that when I would think about my interactions with my patients, I bring me to the interaction. And when everybody would read my book, they can hear, they can hear me saying it, and they understand it. My book is very conversational. And so I am there in my book, and people will listen. If they listen to you in your practice, in your private life, they will listen to you in your book. When I had somebody brought their book to me, and they had highlighted stuff that I had said, that was the eureka moment, that I really meant something that I had written, that it came out of my brain, really meant somebody enough for them to highlight it. And so if you're highlightable, how about that? That's it. You're highlightable.
I love it. Right? That is a highlight right there. Yeah, no, that's amazing, Christine. That is so, it's incredible. And yeah, I can just imagine, you know, that person didn't even think twice. They were just highlighting. Don't even have no idea how much of an impact that made on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, do it scared, just kind of like me doing this video. You are going to have doubts, and you're going to have fears, and even if they're founded, well, then you might have to go another way. But if they're unfounded and they're just from your brain, you can get through them. Sure.
That's amazing. And you have the responsibility to get through them. If you have something that can help other people, do it scared. Make sure it goes out there. Don't, you know, I mean, don't go to your grave with that in your head. You know, it needs to really be packaged, and it really needs to be out there to really help people for, you know, an unlimited time. So thank you so much, Christine, for sharing all of that. And for anyone that wants to look further into Christine's work, we're going to put her link to her URL right below this video. If you are interested in creating an ebook and packaging your incredible knowledge this year, reach out to our team and we'll see if we can help. The link to book a call with my team is sylviemccracken.com/call. And we're going to put that link below the video as well. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.